resolve the issues that arises in each and every moment in our life, right? So what is a problem? A problem is actually a matter or situation which is regarded as unwelcome. That is, we don't want to face any sort of hurdle, any problem in our life, because we feel that it will cause any sort of hindrance in the regularity of the business, in the regularity of the flow of our life, right? So that is the reason we always unwelcome any sort of problem that we feel that may arise any sort of issue at any point of time. And whenever we feel that we may face this type of problem, it should be dealt at the earliest. That is, the problem should be taken care at the very grassroots level on an emergency basis. That is, as soon as you realize that you are going to face any sort of obstacle, any sort of problem, then the first thing that comes to our mind is we need to resolve it at the earliest. And the earlier we resolve it, there's a phrase that sooner the better. That is, the sooner we take care of any sort of hindrance or any situation or matter which is not at all favorable, so we can resolve the issue at ease. So coming back to problem, there are various types of problem, right? We mainly categorize the problems into three types: simple problem, intermediate problem, and complex problem. Now, when we talk about simple problem generally does not involve any economic involvement or any sort of political or humanistic elements does not exist. Simple problem are the very basic problem. If you think it as a problem, it is a problem. See, it starts from the very beginning, that when we wake up, shall we wake up now, or shall I wake up at 10 minutes later? That is also a problem. So these are the basic simple problems which does not involve any sort of financial, any sort of economic involvement or political or humanistic involvement, right? So even whether you are, when in the college premises, you're thinking whether to bunk the management class or not, that is also a problem. It comes in yes or no. Yes, if you are convinced to bunk the class. No, if you want to attend the class. So these are the basic simple problems that we face in our day-to-day life. That is where you don't have much option either to go for it or to avoid it. Now, intermediate problem generally involves the financial involvement is there. That is, the economic involvement is there. For example, say, if you want to, if we talk about the digital packages, whether you are going for a monthly package, quarterly package, half-yearly package, and what are the facilities that you are going to get if you involve or rather invest your money for a tenure of 3 months, 6 months, 1 year or more. Whatever is your option, that is whether you are going to have monetary benefit or not. Even intermediate problem involves, say for example, you have a certain amount of money. You have two options, either to invest in the share market or to invest in a nationalized bank in the form of fixed deposit, right? So what happens? Considering the risk factor, if you go for a share market, you might be profitable, you might not be profitable, because there's a big question mark and it entirely depends on the sunsets, right? So there lies the intermediate problem. That is, which one to choose for, whether you are going for a safe return or you are going to take the risk. If you go for any nationalized bank fixed deposit, you have an assured income that after 6 months, after 1 year, whatever is the tenure of your investment, you will get a certain amount of money. But if you invest in share market, You don't know after 6 months or 1 year whether the share market will be in which position, right? So these are the intermediate problems, and intermediate problems actually involve I'm so sorry. You have to bear my sore throat. So intermediate problem basically involves the monetary involvement. Next comes the complex problem. Complex problems, most of us do not go through such type of complex problem until and unless, these problems are mainly faced by the companies, mainly the main decision makers of the companies, right? Where they have to take care of the economic factor, the political factor, the humanistic elements also, because they need to deal with a whole lot of people where the interest of a whole group of people are involved over there. So there lies the complex problem. That is not only your interest, a bunch of people's interest is involved there. If you are a sole decision maker or your panel is a decision maker, then you will be held liable for any unforeseen events or favorable events, whatever it is, right? So complex problems are faced by the top officials or by the industry as a whole, which involves the economic, political, and humanistic elements where the interest of a whole lot of people are involved over there. Now, when we talk about problem-solving aspect, so what to do? First of all, we need to identify the problem, because until and unless we are aware about what is the problem all about, we can't take any sort of steps. We cannot think of resolving the issue, right? Then comes analyzing the problem. Now, when we talk about, I'm so sorry. When we talk about analyzing the problem, it means that you need to have a proper view, proper analysis of the entire scenario. You need to know the history, geography of the problem. You need to be thorough about the problem, what is all about. Then when you are working in an industry or when you are working with a team, the thing is you need to make it clear to each and everyone. You need to make them aware about what is the actual problem. And then if you are aware about the problem, then only you can focus on the main cause or the main reason, that is the root cause of the problem. And based on your problem identification, you can select a set of alternatives. Now, when we talk about a set of alternatives, it is just like a flow chart. It's not that you go for one solution. When you are going through the planning process, there should be proper backup, that if at any point of time, the steps that you have planned to follow, if it fails at any point of time, right, you need to switch on to the next, stepney, what we say, that is the next step, right? So next solution, next alternative. So that is, you need to develop a set of alternatives. It is just like a flowchart. If it clicks, then follow that one. If it does not click, go for the other one. If then again the second one also flops, what to do? You go for the third option. That is how on trial and error basis we need to solve the thing. But out of the available alternatives, that is out of the plethora of alternatives what you have, you need to fix on, you need to eye on the best one. Whatever, depending on the situation, you feel that this is the best available alternative, you need to bang it on the very first attempt. That is, implement the best solution. And if it, most of the time, out of the available option, if it is obtained through a brainstorming session, then most of the time, the best alternative always clicks. Not always, to be politically correct, in 70 to 60% cases, it clicks. If it does not click, then you have to choose the other sequential alternatives, what you have thought for, right? And then finally, after implementation, you need to have a feedback. You need to, because if you are talking from any organizational perspective, the main thing is you need to collect feedback from the stakeholders. Stakeholders, who are the stakeholders of a company? Mainly who are actually availing the service, who are getting affected. It may be the investors, it may be the customers, it may be the employees, it may be the government even, right? Because at the end of the day, the organization, the industry, when they are earning some profit, at the end of the financial year, they are paying tax to the government also. So government is also a stakeholder. So we have to take an overall feedback from each and every stakeholders. Now, talking about problem solution fit. Problem solution fit is actually a stage which proves the existence of a problem, because until and unless you face any problem, you are not going to look for any sort of solution, right? So it validates that a problem exists, and you have designed a value proposition that addresses the customer's jobs, pains, and gains. That is, what is the customer's role to deal with that particular problem? Pains, the benefits, the drawbacks, that is if you are suffering any sort of loss, the losses the customers are suffering, it may be the other competitors that are available in the market, they are providing more value for money for that certain product or service, right? So that is the pain, that is where the customer is feeling that they are getting deprived by using that particular product. And gain, of course, the profit that he is availing. I mean, he is satisfied if he is satisfied by using the product. Now, problem solution fit occurs when we have evidence that customers care about certain jobs, pains, and gains. Because at the end of the day, the ultimate stakeholder is the customer, because it is the customers. It is for the customers only the product is there. I mean, the product is prevalent in the market. And if they are not satisfied, then, I mean, it is a matter of survival. I mean, it is a big question mark for the survival of the company as a whole. So for that reason, problem solution fit plays a very important role to decide on the fate of the product, whether it will survive in the long run or it is just a matter of time. Now, the importance of problem solution fit. The only way to understand whether we should take any action or not, because there are, a huge range of problem arises when we are talking for the general interest of any company. So what happens is, we have to understand, some problems, if you give a certain time to cool it down, it may resolve. But most of the problems which arises in the company, whenever it is identified, it is always advisable that it should be taken care at the earliest. That is, sooner you resolve the issue, it is better for the company as a whole. So we have to measure the problem solution fit. That is, whatever measures or whatever steps you are taking to mitigate the problem that has arisen. It's better. If it is a win-win situation for the customers as well as for the investors also. So this process allows us to understand what our customers believe about our product, because the customer solution fit, the problem solution fit, is actually addressed whenever you find a grievance from the customer's end. So I mean, the grievance arises from the customers, and because the customers genuinely care for your product, that is the reason they sent you the message that they are not satisfied in this areas. Until and unless they, I mean, if you feel that the customers are least bothered about your product, they won't spare their time to send their feedback or to send their views about why they are facing certain issues about the product, right? They genuinely care for your product. That is the reason they have raised a grievance against the certain issue. It may be anything. It may be regarding the quality. It may be regarding the package. It may be regarding the sales promotion that the company is conducting. Any type of problem wherever the customer is not satisfied, because at the end of the day, the customers are the people, I mean, who are the real factors for the survival of the company as a whole. So the better insights and feedback we collect, the better decisions we make. That is, if the feedback is thorough, if the customers are very much clear about where actually the problem is, it becomes easier for the company also to resolve certain issues. So these are the questions we have to answer to validate a problem solution fit. What is the problem? That is, you need to identify the problem at the earliest. Who has the problem? That is, which of the stakeholders are facing the problem? For whom are you expecting to frame the solution to resolve the issues? Now, how are they currently solving it? What are the steps that the company is taking to take care of the issue that has been raised by any of the stakeholders? Now, what is the solution? According to you, what do you think? What steps are to be taken to take care to mitigate the issue? Now, how is the organization or startup unique? That is also a valid question, because if you want to, I mean, in order to survive in the market, first of all, any company needs to highlight their USP about the product. USP means unique selling proposition or unique selling point. It's the same thing. It means that is how different you are from the available competitors that are available in the market. According to market availability, how unique you are, how different you are, right? So each and every company highlights on their uniqueness in order to gain attention about the product. So these are the things that when we are thinking about to focus on to resolve the problem about a product, we need to be very clear about these questions. Now, what is product market fit? Now, product market fit means that the product is placed in a good market with other products that can satisfy that market. That is, it is completely suitable for the market. That is according to the customer's requirement, because at the end of the day, things. Yes.
How can we understand that which product is market fit? Because which product will be market suitable?
This is actually the gained. The idea is gained. That is, we judge the market suitability of the product through customers' feedback by observing the customer behavior, which plays a very important role, right? In order to, before launching any product, any companies do conduct a market survey in order to know about the prospective customers' requirement. What are they need of? I mean, whatever according to the available options in the market, whether they need for that particular product, whether they need any sort of modification, what sort of upgradation do they need, and then only the company plans for new product development. I mean, by thoroughly observing the consumer behavior, which plays a very important role for launching or to find out whether the market is at all suitable for the whether the product is at all suitable for the market or not. Okay, that is done through direct, primary data collection through direct market survey. Is it understood?
Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
audible?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So product market fit means actually that the product is placed in a good market with other products that can satisfy the market. That is, the customers are happy with the product that is available in the market. When an entrepreneur identifies a need in the market and builds a solution that customers want to buy, that's product market fit. Now, product market fit occurs when we have evidence that our value proposition is actually creating value for customers by alleviating their pains and creating the gains they desire. That is, the customers are satisfied with the available variety of products in the market. Then only you can comment on that the product market fit prevails in the market. Now, how to measure product market fit? Now, first of all, when we talk about the measurement of product market fit, the thing that comes to our mind is the research, your target customers, that is who are your actual customers, the prospective customers. You need to conduct a survey amongst them in order to judge that whether they are at all satisfied with the available products in the market. Before going in depth on metrics that determine the success of your product, do your research. Nowadays, for the last 20 years, consumer behavior has turned out to be very important. It is now treated as a separate section of marketing management. Believe me, if you talk about 20 years back, the term consumer behavior was not that hit, right? Now it is just, the thing is that you not only observe the customer's buying habit, you make a thorough survey. That is, before purchasing, what are the steps the customers are taking after using the product, whether a thorough follow-up is done, so that you can have a brief idea about the customer's buying pattern, the customer's overall behavior regarding that product. And before launching, as I was telling, before launching any product in the market, a thorough survey is now a day. If you think about launching a product in the market without a market survey, you can't afford to launch a new product in the market, because customers at the end of the day are the most unpredictable characters in the market. If you don't have a thorough knowledge about the customers, you cannot survive. You cannot make your product survive in the long run. Right? So a thorough research on the prospective customers to have a total know-how about their buying pattern, their buying behavior is needed. Now, identify the size of the market you can actually hit with metrics and tracking before purchasing as well as after purchasing. A thorough track should be there. Then measure product market fit with net promoter score and product market fit. Now, when we talk about net promoter score, it is actually a customer loyalty and satisfaction measurement taken after you collect feedback from the customers. It is directly from the horse's mouth. That is, it is directly from the customer's mouth. And this, score, that is net promoter score, is actually the customer loyalty and satisfaction measurement score. Now, these are the types of fit. First of all is the problem solution fit. That is, if the customers are not happy with the existing products in the market, then they need to know the problem in details and identify the relevant customers' jobs, pains, and gains you believe and you can address with your value proposition. Then comes the product market fit. That is, the customers positively react to your value proposition. That is, after you observe the problem, whatever steps you are taking, whether it is going down well with your loyal group of customers or not, and it gets traction in the market, right? And third type of fit is the business model fit. This business model fit is, you find a business model fit that is scalable and profitable. That is, you can measure the success of the model that you have observed for your company. And until and unless it is profitable, you cannot say that your business model fit is a hit in the market, right? So it should obviously be profitable. Next comes the process that is taken for product market fit. First of all, it is the initial point, starting point. Then what you need to do is to have an insight about the existing problem. Then the problem solution fit, that is the steps that you are taking to mitigate this problem, to resolve this, to resolve these issues, right? Then comes the product iteration and product market fit. And finally, you hit the market, and the last step is to scale it. That is, you measure the success of your product in the market. That is the ultimate process towards product market fit. These are the 6 steps. That is, know the target customers. That is, you should be well aware about your prospective customers. Who are your target customers? For whom are you launching the particular product? Whether it is for a specific age group of people or the product is for a particular type of professionals, whatever it is, you should know your target customers. That is, the product is intended for what type of customers. Then create a product people want. That is, you need to incite the interest amongst your target customers about the product. Then identify the value proposition. That is, what are you paying off? The customer is paying you something. What are the things that you are providing to the customers? What are the extra features that you are providing to the customers in the form of the product in order to retain them in the long run? Then comes determine minimum viable product. I'm so sorry. Then comes make minimum viable product prototype and test the minimum viable product with the customers. Now, when we use the term minimum viable product, it means what are the minimum characteristics that is expected by the customers, the minimum features of the product that the customer expects from your product. That is the minimum viable product. Then you have to give this features. Along with that, whatever you are getting, whatever features, added features you are providing to your customers. That is the extra benefit. And finally, test the minimum viable product with the customers. That is whether at all the customers, according to their requirement, are getting from your product or not. Now, importance of product market fit. Achieving product market fit is the key to a successful business. It means that there's market demand for what you are selling and people are willing to pay for it because it's better than the available alternatives in the product. Then only you can say that your product your product matches with the market. That is, the product market fit exists for this particular product, because you can prove yourself that you are the best amongst the available alternatives in the market. Then comes achieving problem solution fit and product market fit. Now, product market fit is achieved when we can repeatedly acquire customers for a lower cost than what they are worth to you. We have product market fit when we see retention that creates enough revenue or content virality to drive sustainable acquisition. Now, this is a comparative study between two products to know whether the product market fit is achieved or not. See, this is product A. This blue one stands for product A, and this green stands for product B. So what happens is, this is active at the very initial stage. Both the both product A as well as product B is active at 100%. But see, the product A has a downfall compared to product B. But through a time frame of 10 years, after that, it is showing unlike the steep fall of product B, this product A shows that it is there for the long run. It is there. This product has fit because it is surviving in the long run. If you follow this graph, you can quite easily trace it out that it is going at a very at a very 50% activity. It is going on and on. But after 20 years, this product B has lost its market already. This product A has survived because due to passage of time, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years time frame, they have evolved according to the customer's requirement. A continuous evolution has occurred on the product, because by the change of time, customers' requirement also changes. So they have modified their product according to the requirement of the product, according to the requirement of the customers, and as a result of which this product A has hit the market, has achieved this product market fit in the long run. The difference between problem solution fit and product market fit. The thing is, the core of the problem they try to solve with your product. Can you tell me about the problem you were trying to solve? That is the problem solution fit. As I was telling previously, that for that you need to be very clear about where actually the problem is, why the customers are not satisfied with the particular product. If you can identify the area of dissatisfaction of the customers, it becomes easier for the company as a whole to modify according to the requirement of the customers and make it hit in the market. That is, to achieve the product market fit. Then what are the key features of your product and how your users talk about them? Just tell me about the first impression with the product. What motivates you to continue using your product? These are the types of questions that are generally asked to the customers during market survey in order to judge the suitability of the product in the market. The main priorities for new features or functionality, that is, if they are looking for any sort of changes, in which area, they need to be specific, right? So based on that, this product market fit is achieved. Main problem and pain points connected to your product and how your users talk about them. So that is how you can resolve the issues. And the problem solution fit, if you can take care, if you can handle the entire thing, then it becomes easier for everyone to make the product hit in the market. But for that, the first and foremost thing is a rigorous process of market survey, a continuous this is a continuous process. If you are focusing on your product to survive, to make it survive in the long run. So this is all about the topic from my end. And in the very initial stage, first of all, I would like to thank the Startup Club for giving me an opportunity to speak on this particular topic, because this is the domain of my research work, right? And thank you for that. I would have said this initially, but the main thing is, since I was facing some issues with my laptop, I just wanted to start off the session within the time. So yes, any question from anyone, feel free to ask if you have any questions. Is it understood? First of all, tell me, is it understood, or I was in a hurry to finish it off?
No, no, no,
Would
ma'am.
you?
No, ma'am. It's
No,
totally
ma'am.
understandable.
It was understood.
Thank you so much for being so okay. Ma'am, if my startup has created a solution that solves the customer's problem. Yes, Bikram, just let me go through this. Solution that solves the customer's problem. Did I achieved market fit, or I need long run? What does that mean, Baba? I don't understand. Or I need long run. Long run means when you want to survive in the market for a longer time frame. I don't understand this phrase, what you have written, or I need long run. It's not running. It's long run means when you want to survive there for a longer time frame, right? If my startup has created a solution that solves the customer's problem. Yes, of course. For the time being, you have achieved this product fit in the market, right? But if you want to survive for a longer time frame, you need to upgrade yourself according to the customer's requirement. It's not that once you have reached, it will become a story of that. The rabbit and the tortoise. It's not at all like that. You don't need to sleep. If you have reached a point where you can say that you have received a product fit. No, you need to go through the rigorous process. You need to upgrade your product according to the customer's requirement, which changes due to passage of time. Is it clear, Bikram? Okay. Any other question from anyone?
You can type it on in the chat also.
Okay, why this product fit is so important, ma'am? product fit is important for the matter of survival only, because until and unless your product fits the market, right? That is according to the customer's requirement. If your product does not go down well with your customers, then you will be in a loss making section, and ultimately you will lose out the game, you will be out of the market. So it is a matter of survival, so that you achieve this product fit and you retain the status through continuous survey, through continuous evolution of the product according to the requirement of your customers, of your target customers. So ma'am, if I solves that problem, then can I become the most successful? Of course. Who is saying that you cannot become a successful marketer? If you can fulfill the requirement of the customers, then of course your product will be hit. And if your product is hit in the market, then who will create a hurdle in your success? Okay, Rahul Singh. Should I focus on making product thinking about an universal requirement, or should I target a section of population first, then section by section? It is always advisable that when it is from the perspective of a startup, when you are starting up afresh, you focus on a certain target group of customers. You set up your prospective customers, that is, for whom are you focusing your product. Then you know the requirement of your target customers and accordingly make the necessary plans so that you can fulfill your prospective customers' demand and make a hit in the market. And if your product becomes a hit, then you can think about focus on other target groups also. Yes, Saptarshi Padoi, can you please tell me the easiest way to reach the customers across the India? Oh my God, hope I would have known. It is through the process of market survey, and now social media is so proactive.
Yeah,
So
this is
you
a
can always
great
use
option.
the technology. The technology is by your side. I mean, you can cross the the national boundaries also. It is not at all an issue. I mean, it's so happening since last 10 years, the social networking sites. You don't need to focus on within the borders only. You can cross the borders also. So ultimately, it's the product that will make you hit. Is it clear, Saptarshi?
Yes, ma'am, it is clear. Ma'am, assume I made a app and I uploaded it to our Play Store.
Okay.
Okay, I am estimating that it will help the customers, but ma'am, how the app or I reach to the customers? Like who will need this?
You have to present it. Okay, तुमको ad देना पड़ेगा, तुमको marketing करना पड़ेगा. Then your app will be लोग जब यूज करेंगे ना ऐप को, then it will prove that तुम्हारा जो प्रॉब्लम है तुम वो ऐप सॉल्व कर रहा है कि नहीं कर रहा. You have to present your app in the market.
हाँ, मैं यही जानने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. मतलब मैम, कैन आई से इन बेंगली?
Yes, of course.
ম্যাম, মানে দেখুন, মানে এখনকার একটা রায়ান মার্টিন যে সহায়িকা গুলো হয়, এখন ওরা এমন ভাবে অ্যাডভার্টাইজটা করছে, মানে এখন মানে খুব মানে লোকের মুখে মুখে জিনিসটা,
তুমি মাধ্যমিকে ফার্স্ট হয়ে যাবে।
হ্যাঁ, মানে এরকমই তো বলছে, মানে আমি সেটাই জানতে চাইছি, মানে
ক্যাচি ট্যাগলাইনস তাই দিয়ে তোমাকে প্রমোট করতে হবে তোমার অ্যাপটাকে। যত লোকের কাছে তোমার রিচ করবে তোমার অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্ট, তত লোক ইন্টারেস্ট ফিল করবে। এবার তো প্রথমবার তো কিনে নিল বা ইউজ করে নিল, তারপরে সে যদি স্যাটিসফাইড হয়, দেন হি উইল বি আ লয়াল ইউজার অফ ইয়োর অ্যাপ। যদি ভালো না লাগে, then go to hell.
ম্যাম তার মানে কাস্টমারদের কাছে পৌঁছানোর মানে উপায়টাই হচ্ছে অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্ট, অ্যাডভার্টাইজমেন্টের
একদম
obvious.
আচ্ছা
without advertisement nowadays you cannot go a step.
ওকে ম্যাম থ্যাংক ইউ।
Welcome.
How can I do that advertisement? Can you please?
See, nowadays it is not at all a tough job. You don't need to consult an advertising agency when you are starting up with a startup, right? The main thing is nowadays people are so technically savvy. I mean, not every people is technically challenged like me. I'm basically a technically challenged person. So everyone is not like me. So the social media, each and every people of this generation is so proactive in the social media, and it hardly, I mean, you need to pay anything hardly for that, right? So why don't you promote your product? Why don't you promote your service, your product in the social media?
Yes, ma'am. I understand.
Okay, any other question?
ম্যাম প্রমোটিং আ প্রোডাক্ট উইল অলসো কস্ট হাই।
That depends on which media you are promoting, where you are promoting, in which platform you have selected to promote your product.
ওকে ম্যাম ওকে।
Ma'am, can you tell me which is the best platform to promote my ideas?
Start with the social
First of
media
all,
like
it
Facebook,
depends.
Instagram.
It
Then
depends
we will go further.
entirely. Okay, yes, Shobuj is doing the honors, so let him. The thing is, my opinion, thank you so much for your kind help, Shobuj. The thing is, depending on what product you are promoting, it entirely depends, right, on what product you are promoting.
Okay, ma'am.
What factors should we keep in our mind to make a better USP from other brands? You need to have an overall idea about your competitors in the market, that is the similar natured products that are available. Based on that, you need to conduct a market survey from the prospective customers, that is who actually are your target customers. And then according to the requirement of the customers, you need to focus on your unique point, that is where you need to highlight in order to attract the customers. What features, what extra or what added features you want to add compared to your competitors in the market. Is it clear, Debanjan?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Welcome. Any other questions?
Okay, I think there is no questions. And now I am asking Anushka Di for the vote of thanks. Anushka Di, over to you.
It's entirely my pleasure, Anushka. It's entirely my pleasure. This is my domain because my research work is based on consumer behavior, and this is anyway. So from in a technical college, selecting management topics for discussion, which most of the time does not go down well with the engineers, would-be engineers also. But anyway, thanks from my side for holding your patience, and that's it. I never expected so much of queries, management-related queries from technical people. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Okay, yes. What is it? Yes, sure, Saptarshi, go ahead.
ম্যাম, ম্যাম, a question that ম্যাম, আমরা যখন কোন একটা স্টার্টআপ বা কিছু একটা ভাবনা চিন্তা করি, তো তখন একটা, আপনি যখন বললেন মার্কেটিং, একটা কিছু তৈরি করা, মানে এটা তো অনেকটা একটা বড় হাসেল ম্যাম। এখন যেহেতু ইন্ডাস্ট্রি সম্পর্কে আমাদের কোনো আইডিয়াই নেই ম্যাম, মানে ম্যাম, মানে মূলধন বা যেটা আর কি বলে,
ক্যাপিটাল
হ্যাঁ
ইনভেস্টমেন্ট, ক্যাপিটাল।
হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ ম্যাম, ওইটা কিরকম প্রয়োজন হতে পারে, মানে একটা অ্যাভারেজ ওপর? বিকজ ম্যাম আমার তো কোনো,
সেটা এন্টায়ারলি ডিপেন্ড করছে যে তুমি কি লঞ্চ করতে চাইছো, কি প্রোডাক্ট লঞ্চ করতে চাইছো। সেটা এন্টায়ারলি তুমি কি সার্ভিস, কি প্রোডাক্ট, যেটা কোনো প্রোগ্রামিং কি, সেটা এন্টায়ারলি ডিপেন্ডস অন দ্যাট। এখন তো বিভিন্ন অ্যাপ অনেকে করে, গেম জাভা বা অন্য কিছু। আমি একদমই টেকনিক্যালি চ্যালেঞ্জড পারসন, আই এম নট দ্য রাইট পারসন টু আনসার দিস টেকনিক্যালিটিস, রাইট? বাট এইগুলোতে কিন্তু বিশেষ একটা ইনভেস্টমেন্ট লাগে না। বাট ইফ ইউ আর থিঙ্কিং to start up with a new product or new service, then it is entirely you need a certain amount of investment depending on how big you want to set up, right? So it depends on what you are focusing on and how you want to put your foot in the market.
okay ma'am, thank you ma'am. For starting a startup, ma'am, can you briefly tell me the points that a entrepreneur should ম্যাম যেটা নজর দেবে, মানে ওই স্পেসিফিক পয়েন্ট গুলোর উপরই?
ফার্স্ট অফ অল, মার্কেট সার্ভে। তুমি আগে জানতে হবে তোমার যে তুমি যেটা নিয়ে ভাবনা চিন্তা করছো সেটা কি তোমার টার্গেট কাস্টমারদের চাইছে। সেটা আগে, মার্কেট সার্ভে ইজ ভেরি ভেরি এসেনশিয়াল বিফোর ইউ স্টার্ট অফ উইথ সামথিং নিউ। So without market survey, you cannot take a foot forward.
Okay ma'am, okay ma'am.
Okay. And best of luck to all the first year students who are having their exam, and in spite of that, taken out their own sweet
Thank you,
time.
ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. And special thanks to Anushka Di, who has represented us also in this meeting.
Okay. Yes, indeed. Okay. So
okay, here I am sharing the most awaited feedback link. Please fill up the feedback link to make sure that you get the participation certificate for this session. And the feedback link is valid for only 10 minutes, so be fast and fill it.
Okay, thank you so much, Anushka. You really conducted the meeting so well.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, have a nice day.
Thank you, ma'am.